Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm cheaping you.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And this week was Gav's choice for movies,
Yes,
and
it
he
was.
chose. What did he choose? What did you pick?
Shin Megami Tensei Tokyo Revelations.
That's a mouthful, but it's a thing. It's how long was it? It was like what, 55 minutes?
Yeah, thereabouts.
But boy, did they pack some stuff in there.
Oh, I
What
know.
did-
I
what
told
did-
you it has everything.
What did you guys all think about this? 'Cause I got a whole thing to go into about that.
It has all the tropes, all of them.
It really does.
I mean, this was my first ever exposure to Shin Megami Tensei, like anything, so I went in completely blind, and I enjoyed it for the most part.
Gav, was this how you felt last week when I threw you into Digimon? Or 2 weeks
What do
ago,
you-
I guess.
What do you mean?
It's like you go in with no knowledge whatsoever, and you're just kind of bombarded with weirdness.
I mean, I've played, like, Persona games, which is Shin Megami Tensei.
No, I'm saying I haven't watched any of this. It's like, was this what you felt like whenever you watched Digimon?
Not really.
Okay. So for me, this felt like, whether chronologically accurate or not, this felt like an amalgamation of like a whole bunch of 90s or 90s adjacent anime that I've seen over the years.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's first off, Devilman and Serial Experiments Lane had a baby, and then they're getting involved with some Yu Yu Hakusho in there. Then suddenly Yu-Gi-Oh happens, and
Yep.
all of it's and it all eventually leads to Super Saiyan Dio. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
this movie about?
I'm definitely gonna say I'm very much a meh on how I feel about this.
I don't know. I'm in this
I'ma be
weird
very
area
honest.
of I don't know that this is something that I would have seeked out, but I'm glad that I watched it.
I mean,
'Cause
for
I
me,
feel like
this
it's just
is
making me
definitely
feel
not.
like I need to just go back and watch more 90s anime.
For me, this is definitely one of those ones where I'm just like, yeah, I would have never tried to watch this on my own or gone out of my way to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I love it.
Of course.
we start off on an airplane with
Yeah.
some kid hacking hell, I suppose. And he summons demons from his laptop, which, was what all of the parents in the 90s were worried about whenever Doom came out. And
Yeah.
yeah, so they blow up the plane, and he's the only survivor, and you can see the devil in the skies over Japan. And then they're like, gotta get you more life force or magnemites or whatever. I'm like, those things are easy to catch. What are you talking about? How this is difficult for you? God, then we meet our hero, who I forgot his name, so I'm just gonna call him Steve Bloom. And Steve Bloom is wearing a Speedo, which is like checks every box on my list. And he's got a little brother who's I think is looking at porn on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult to say for like right off the bat, but yeah, he's going to school, and he's going to school with a guy named Yosuke, which is not too far from Yusuke, and he kind of looks like Yusuke. There's also a guy named Kuwabara who's at a funeral. I'm like, this is all Yu Yu Hakusho right now. Also, there's a sword that has like magic energy thing eventually. We'll get to that. Also, there's demons that some people can see and other people can't. Like, it's just straight up Yu Yu Hakusho a little bit for a little while.
Yes. Yes, that.
Some people have girlfriends and whatnot, but that's not really important just yet. Because
Yeah.
there's exchange students coming around. And Faye Valentine, who now has green hair, I should mention, there's 3/4 of the Cowboy Bebop cast, which is just what I'm going to call them. Yeah, she's interested, and all of her girlfriends are interested because it's like, oh, what if he's hot? Then he shows up, and he's like, I like computers, and you guys all suck. So, off
Pretty
to a
much.
great start there. But he is super into Steve Bloom. He's really into Steve Bloom. And he's like, hey,
Some
we
might say a
used to-
little unhealthy amount.
Depends on your perspective. Could be a healthy amount. Yeah, he's like, hey, we used to be friends. Can we still be friends? He's like, yeah, we can still be friends. You're my bud. And then they go up to the roof, and he's like, I've been waiting so long to see you again. And he kind of tries to put the moods on him, but Steve Bloom's like, oh, hey, I support you, live your truth, but I'm not gay. Which,
Pretty
as far as
much.
rejections go, it was pretty, letting him off easy kind of thing. I don't know that he takes it so well,
No.
but because he wants to start killing his friends. But he does let him know that he let the demons out, which Steve Bloom might have just thought, oh, he must have went to Jesus camp or something. Yeah, I don't know. Was Pray the Gay Away a thing back then? I feel like it probably was.
Yeah.
But in either case, I don't think it fully took. And then, Steve Bloom and Yusuke, pre-Spirit Detective Yusuke, are going to Kuwabara's parents' funeral because they blew up in that plane crash. Well, it wasn't really a crash. It exploded. I think you actually have to hit something to crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh god, what happened then? Right. What's his face? Evil, I'm gonna call him Rio, because that's basically who he is.
Yeah.
Akito?
Akito,
Yeah,
Akito, whatever his name is. That dude has Wendy Lee and her 3 girlfriends having an orgy, and then they get possessed by werewolves. So that's werewolves come out of the computer and possess a bunch of naked high school girls, and they're all told to go capture another high school girl who's full of magnemites and kill her boyfriend. But then ninjas show up, spirit ninjas. I sound like I'm high right now, don't I?
Yeah.
So spirit ninjas show up and beat off that's the wrong choice of words for this movie.
No, that's the right choice of words.
Spirit ninjas show up and beat up the high school girls who are possessed by werewolves and exorcise the werewolves out of them.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I guess this is all the plan of Baphomet with a bird head. I'm going to call him Birdfomet for now. And
Gagason.
Yeah, Birdfomet. They take the girl back and do an exposition dump about, like, you're full of magnemite, which is full of... I keep calling it magnemite. I know it's not that, but I'm just like, it's so close. What was it actually called?
Magnetite.
Magnetite. It's like one letter off.
That's a Pokemon evolution, right?
Magnemite, Magneton, Magnezone. So no, it is not. So close, though. Anyway, this girl's full of Magnemite, and it's like life force, and devils need it to get a body. Meanwhile, cross town, Steve Bloom's being attacked by Cerberus, which we all know was a one-headed lion creature. I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
I didn't either. I was very mad.
I'm wondering if that's a translation issue, because I feel like there's plenty of Asian mythology, especially like Shinto or Japanese, something that would include some sort of lion or a tiger or some sort of cat monster kind of thing. I feel like they just called it Cerberus for the dub. I watched the dub, by the way. If you hadn't,
I also
couldn't tell.
watched the dub. The only thing is because it was, I'm not sure if they animated over the text that was in the book that he was reading when he was looking up a Cerberus, but
I think they might have a little bit here and there, but I feel like it might have been a localization thing, because I feel like a Western audience would probably know what Cerberus is over some sort of Shinto demon cat creature.
In other Shin Megami Tensei games like Soul Hackers, the Cerberus does have 3 heads.
Okay. Is it still a lion?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
But Cerberus does have 3 heads, and it's just, I guess, on the early on games that it looked like it did in Tokyo Revelation.
And again, I do kind of wonder a little bit whether that's a localization thing or not, or whether it's Cerberus in the Japanese. If you know, let us know in the comments. But yeah, Cerberus kills Steve Bloom's dog, and I'm like, wow, dick move. But he's got
that was
a
the
magic.
saddest part of the movie.
Yes. It reminded me of what was that dog's name? Shadow from Homeward Bound.
Don't even get me started on that movie.
Okay, I won't.
Everyone cries at the end.
Yes,
Everyone
we all
does.
Anyway, dog will not be named, gets killed, but, Steve Bloom got a magic moon knife from Lolly earlier in the movie, so,
Yep.
he can stab Cerberus in the neck, and then it becomes a spirit sword. And he still gets his ass kicked until a Shinto priest, I don't know if he's a Shinto priest, he's a priest of some kind. A priest shows up to wrap the lion up in a scroll and then tell the lion that he has to inhabit the dead dog's body and protect Steve Bloom from evil. And the cat agrees to this, and I guess he's got a dog back now.
Yep.
And what do you do at that point? Just go home. You're clearly not winning this day. God, what happened after that? I think, they explain that stuff to the girl. Then Ninja Girl goes somewhere. I forget why.
She was walking Saki home, I think.
That's right. Yeah. They get attacked by Rio and some werewolves. And Rio puts the moves on her. And that doesn't go well for her.
Well, he only did that because he was putting a serpent in her mouth.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we get to it. Like that's another genre that was big in the 90s, I think. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, she goes home and starts puking up hentai slugs at people.
Yeah. Yep.
But then Priest Dude, exercises the evil tentacle monster out of her mouth and kills it, and for some reason it bled white ooze, so it looks like that final shot of that particular scene looks like it came from a very different anime. Or maybe a not so different anime.
Yep.
But yeah, they got the girl full of Magnemite, and Steve Bloom's at home, and he runs into his brother, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Go to bed. It's late." So the kid goes up and starts playing on his computer, when suddenly Satan comes out of the computer and steals his soul into the TV. Not dissimilar to the first season of a show about children's card games. And I'm like, is this Digimon or is this Yu-Gi-Oh? It feels a little Yu-Gi-Oh, but then they suck him into the computer. I'm like, oh, is this going Digimon? Nope, it's going season 3 and a little bit of the at the beginning of season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh, where they get trapped in a computer.
Yep.
And I was
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're even ripping off the monster designs. They get attacked by a red worm, a Hitatsumi giant, and a harpy lady.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, I created it. And like the boss, the bird from it is like, I created a virtual world and I made it just to kill you. I'm like, this is literally the plot of the board of directors of Kaiba Corp when they were trying to kill Kaiba. I'm like, is he going to turn into Tiamat? If they do, this is just like, and I'm pretty sure that show, Yu-Gi-Oh, came out after this. So it's like, I don't know who's stealing off of who at this point. But they start fighting, and Bird Fomet goes off to kill Magnemite Girl so that they can get real Satan to come out and kill the world.
Yep.
Did I forget something that happened in the middle? Oh, right. The lolly is watching Steve Bloom through her crystal ball the whole time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Bird Fomet stabs Magnemite Girl and unleashes Satan, who turns out is a gigantic cat man.
Yep. That was
Feel
the
like
thing.
I was not made aware of that the times I've read the Bible, but you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe if you read between the lines a little bit.
It's
And
Osei.
then, to combat Cat Satan Man, Cat Satan Giant, whatever he is, the lolly goes to an unconscious Steve Bloom, gets naked, and does something that made and involves herself in a scene that made me pretty uncomfortable. But I guess it's okay, because Steve Bloom gets reincarnated as Super Saiyan Dio.
Yep.
Oh, she also gets kicked out of a secret order that her sister and some other dude who does not have a name were involved in. I'm like, this is a whole plot line that we're not even aware of.
Yep.
Like when I go over my problems with the movie, I'll go into more detail about that.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like, I can tell this came from like either a game or a manga or something that was much longer than the runtime of this.
It's a game.
But it does, I don't know. She's like just a naked 15-year-old girl crying in some little boy's bedroom. But then she disappears before the mom shows up. Okay. And Steve Bloom has become Super Saiyan Dio, riding Lion Cerberus to fight Cat Satan. That's an actual sentence that I had to say today. And yeah, he's just... They start fighting, and Cat Satan gets his arm ripped off. And then Birdfomet is like, hey, I can help. And he fuses Birdfomet and Cat Satan fuse together to create Catfomet. And they're still fighting Super Saiyan Dio. And then Rio takes the body of Magnemite Girl and tries to do another ritual because it's like, hey, you weren't supposed to kill Steve Bloom. Everybody loves Steve Bloom. I'm like, I agree with you. And he... I don't know if it's really well explained, but he revives or reincarnates her with his life force to turn her into Revolutionary Girl Utena? I think. Right? That was a 90s anime too, I think. That early 2000s. Which one was it?
Nice.
You're right. You're right.
So Revolutionary Girl Utena, I guess, was the source of Catfomet's power. And now that she's awake, she's no longer that source of power. So Super Saiyan Dio is able to kill him. But he uses up all of his energy, and so he turns back into regular Steve Bloom. And Utena catches him. And then we get a... Oh, I forgot to say. The movie ends with just Steve Bloom going like, Rio, is that you? And Utena goes, ah!
Oh, yeah.
And then roll credits. But over the credits, we see Utena catch Steve Bloom. And he's like, Rio, is that you? Yes, I combined with Magnemite Girl to become Revolutionary Girl Utena. And I can feel your emotions. I don't know. And then the voice of God said something about fate and the cycle of life and death. And it basically turned into the T scene from episode 2 of Madoka Magica. Magically abridged. Like, what is going on here? It goes on for like 3 minutes.
Blossoms and dies. Dies and blossoms
even
again.
When I was editing that scene, I'm like, this cannot go on forever. But this one goes on forever.
It blossoms and dies.
It blossoms and
blossoms
dies.
again.
Blossoms and dies. It blossoms and dies. It dies and then blossoms and then dies. It is fate. It's fate. It's fate. Fate blossoms and dies.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of the movie.
It's not my favorite part of the movie.
Same.
Actually, no. My favorite part of the movie, and this is like, oh god, my favorite parts of this movie are all of the voice acting that's like very terrible that it's funny.
It's both
And-
terrible
Rio
and
is
good.
great.
And like he'd be like,
I know you guys don't know who this person is, but the guy who or the girl who voices Izzy in dubbed Digimon is like 15 people in this movie.
it's just
Side note,
so funny. It's like the god, the quotes, man.
I didn't
I am
write
try-
any down. I should have.
There's when the girls are all talking to Rio, I guess, as we're calling him,
Yeah.
and
Oh, he
he's
had like a fun little inner monologue.
Yeah, he's like, stupid girls, like, shut the fuck up or something like that. And then, God, there was this other, it's not a good thing to say, but Gagison was like, beat the shit out of the little cocksucker.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But
whoa.
I have not heard this kind of language in anime. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
People call him
then.
people motherfuckers, beat the shit out of him, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
A
I
lot more
was
people
like,
survived this movie than I thought they were gonna.
oh, and when Yosuke said to Akito, and he was like, "What are you doing to my girlfriend?" And then Akito goes, "Nothing." He's like, "Nothing." And
Yeah, well, he wasn't.
and his voice, it's just so
He's
funny.
like, nothing.
And then Yosuke's lines where he'll be like, we gotta go, man. Like, or he'll be like, it's time for us to go. Yeah, we gotta go. We really gotta. And he like repeats himself in like this deadpan voice. And it's like, okay, alright.
Wait, so what happened?
Yosuke, when he like talks, he like says like, hey Kojiro, we really gotta go now. Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. Like, and he just like repeats himself in different ways.
I think that was just like something that happened back in the day. There was always like those like things where you don't know what to put for the lip flaps, but you have to put something in. So sometimes people will repeat themselves on certain things. And there's other moments where it's like, I feel like whenever you do an inner monologue thing, you should kind of have an echo with your voice. And I don't think they always did it with these, because there's like one, at least, where the priest was like thinking to himself, because his lips were not moving, but he sounded like he was actually saying it out loud. Something. And I think they probably did the same thing with Rio and a few other characters, where it's like, okay, this is clearly in your head, but it does not sound in your head.
Yeah. It's super interesting because in Shin Megami Tensei, like Tokyo Revelation, you got Yosuke and Saki who are dating, and then in Persona 4, which is also a Shin Megami Tensei game, you get Yosuke Hanamura, who's like one of your teammates, and he has a big crush on this girl named Saki. And I was like, oh, interesting.
And it turns out it's the same person?
No.
No, different character design altogether.
Yeah. But yeah. It's very interesting. I just looked at I'm looking at the Shin Megami Tensei like wiki and in the Tokyo Revelations characters, and I'm looking at the manga picture of Akito, and he looks so different.
How so?
He has like longer silver hair and like big ol' anime eyes with like long eyelashes.
Ooh.
Which one's Akito?
Rio.
Okay.
And
Very
they, like,
different.
Yeah, he like looks very femme in the manga, and then they made him like more masculine in the movie.
Maybe.
But
I don't know.
But yeah, I was just looking at the different what they look like and stuff. But
Yes, do you guys think I make it more confusing whenever I describe it the way that I do?
No, you actually made it more straightforward than the movie presents it at times. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I know this is based off a manga and the game series. Obviously, I feel like this should have either been an anime series, or B, the movie should have been actual feature length, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That one you would have you would have explained everything better. You would have given the characters more personality, like why the lolly likes the main character to begin with, because it just appears out of nowhere in the movie.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to like add a little bit of like the character stuff and a few things like that, maybe a little bit better timing for your exposition, go with a feature length. But if you want to go to like into like think the deeper lore that we're not seeing, like whatever the Lolly secret organization was, probably would have done better to do like a limited series like the JoJo OVAs or something. Maybe like 6 episodes to kind of like cover everything.
I imagine they didn't have all the resources because the games weren't insanely popular probably when that movie came out, but like 50 minutes is not enough time to go over that entire story.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, for how corny and campy it was, and the voice acting is both amazing and terrible at the same time. But
it was like in that weird transition period right before Bebop where people were like starting to figure out how to really do it, but like still hadn't quite gotten it yet. Some people.
And that was back when Steve Bloom wasn't even going by Steve Bloom. He always used like
Steve
a fake
J.
name.
At that point, I think it said in the credits.
Yeah.
And so was oh god, what was her name?
Wendy Lee.
No, Wendy Lee was Wendy Lee in that. I saw in the credits. The one who plays Ed in Cowboy Bebop, who was the Lolly.
Oh, I forget her name.
I think her name is Melissa Fawn, but it was something else in this one. But yeah, I'm like, all you were missing was Bo Billingsley. Wouldn't that have been more interesting if Bird Fomet had been voiced by Jet Black? Like, you would have had the whole team.
I mean, his voice actor was good, but yeah, that would have been awesome to have all 4 of the Bebop cast.
I mean, the thing with these films is that they're meant to be OVAs, so they're not really meant to be full-length feature films, so...
Yeah. I think, like, to some degree, this definitely felt like one of those projects where it was like, we are not doing this for the general audiences. We are doing this for the people who have played or read the whatever it's based on. Like, this is just like, this is a thing just for you guys. So that's probably why they didn't go into a ton of extra detail about the extra lore around like spirit detective ninjas or whatever the nameless organization that Lolly worked for.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if you were adapting that, you weren't going to explain any of it. Maybe they should just cut it out and just be like, oh, being so close to death caused him to reincarnate as Dio. I mean, I would have bought it. The rest of this movie's weird enough.
Yeah.
Again, it's just making me like, and I now have a Hulu subscription, or I'm stealing a Hulu subscription, so I have access to I have access to a lot of other 90s anime. I'm like looking through there. I'm like, ooh, Rurouni Kenshin. Ooh, Yu Yu Hakusho. Ooh, Digimon. Yes, Daddy. I'm telling you, all they were missing from this movie to like give me everything that I wanted was maybe like a Beyblade and a Metabots reference, and I would have been like, yes, this is everything I need and more. Oh yeah. Is that it? Do we have anything else to say about it?
Nope.
Okay.
I love it.
I can tell.
I've watched it so many times.
Dang, why didn't you take over for doing the plot then?
Because it's so funny listening to you describe it.
Again, I feel like I'm gonna really throw some people off with it sometimes.
Just
like, I need to go back
haven't.
and look about when I was describing those episodes of Tokyo Mew Mew, see if they make any sense to me at this point. Well, yeah, so what's the final verdict? I think Chibi said a meh.
Very much a meh.
A meh. I believe, Gav, you're a yay.
Oh, yeah.
Envy, where are you sitting on this?
I'm gonna give it a yay. Granted, if you're not a Shin Megami Tensei fan, you're probably not going to get as much of enjoyment. But hey, it has me somewhat curious to maybe try out some of the games. So I guess it did its job.
I think I'm around where Envy's at. I'm a mild yay on that as well. Like, I don't know, I don't always have time to go into, like, is it a long game?
Oh yeah, they're very long games.
I might look at a manga, maybe. I don't always have a ton of time to invest in things. I have to schedule time to do, like, Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Shin
Yeah.
Megami Tensei games are very into the like demons and supernatural, and then you got the Persona games, which are a spin-off, which are half dungeon crawler, half a high school dating simulator.
Yep.
I feel like we play those plenty. But yeah, I think, yeah, so we got 2 mild yays, a hard yay, and a meh. So I guess this is, if you haven't checked this out already, give it a look.
Yeah.
What are we looking at in 2 weeks from now? I believe Envy. This was your pick for whatever loose rotation we're doing right now.
Yes, in 2 weeks we will be watching the Netflix animated movie A Whisker Away. And it is directed by the same guy who directed, among other things, Princess Tutu, and it is written by the same people that wrote. Well, it's one of the writers wrote the original Sailor Moon anime from the 90s.
I wanted to say that at the end of this movie, Magnemite turned into Sailor Moon, but I'm like, no, pink hair, you're definitely Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Yep.
So yeah, so what's A Whisker Away about? It's
It
about
is-
mice, right? Whiskers?
Yeah. Now, without getting into too many details, it's about a girl who can turn into a cat because that's the only way she can get near her crush.
Ooh.
Well, that sounds creepy. And we'll find out if it's
I-
creepy on, what is it, the 6th? I think
Yes.
it's the 6th. If I'm wrong, I'll make a thing when I edit this and let everybody know that I'm wrong. What were you going
It
to
is
say,
the
Gav?
6th. It is the 6th.
No, I mean, what were you going to say before I said that?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we head out?
Nope.
Nope.
Alrighty then. Well, come back in 2 weeks. That's a good amount of time to go see a movie that's just on Netflix. We'll talk about Whisker Away, among other things, and I mean, I don't know what else we'd be talking about on here, but yeah, come back and we'll talk about that. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and feel free to check out some of our other gaming videos, our weekly podcast Anime Yay or Nay, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!